okay, mommy, do you have clients today? Because I knew that the clients was the income that was coming in. She would be like, y'all pray that we get some clients. I just remember like having that whole like faith that God would bring clients in, and anxiety that we ain't had nothing to eat. You know what I'm saying? You don't remember that? That wasn't your experience?
We don't have a lot of things, and the lights are cut off, the water's cut off, things crawling on the ground. You know, I've seen these things.
Fact. I forgot about the rats, baby. We had rodents.
I'm seeing these things.
God is going to bless us with a house. We had a house, but it was the house that our grandfather had left us in the hood. And baby, it wasn't a shack, but we didn't even have bedroom doors. Okay, the only door in the house was the front door, the back door, and the restroom door. 3 doors in the house. Okay, everything else was open, baby.
Open concept.
Open concept before open concept was open concept. Sure. Okay.
Welcome to the Affluent Sisterhood podcast. On this podcast, we'll be interviewing entrepreneurs and exploring their journeys to being a boss. So as we know, success leaves clues.
Success leaves clues?
Yeah, I'm assuming that the people that are watching this are business owners, or maybe they want to be a business owner, and they can learn from us. They can learn from the people that we actually interview, all of the clues that we're going to be dropping on our podcast.
That's awesome. I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so you guys probably are wondering why we're in a salon. The reason that we're in a salon is because our mother is a hairstylist, and she's been doing hair for over 47 years. And, you know, I wanted you guys to get more of an understanding of like us as individuals, our story, our background, our upbringing, and the reason why, you know, we are entrepreneurs. We had to witness a lot with my mom's entrepreneurial journey. And I'm curious to know your perspective on, you know, the highs and the lows of her being a hairstylist and, you know, how it affected you.
Honestly, when I was little, I don't feel like I feel like I was in La La Land. Like I didn't realize we were struggling or anything until I became like a teenager, until like I got to middle school. And then we moved, you know, to Spring. And then I was seeing like my friends all had like the razor had just came out. And then do you remember, I don't know, Dahl's thick old cell phone? She gave me a thick.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't even a Nokia. I don't know what it was, but it was silver and thick, and that thing was a brick.
But wait, how old were you?
I was 13.
Oh wait,
I was in the 7th grade.
Wait, when we left, like
I went when I was 12 or 11, we moved over here to Spring.
Oh, okay. Because before that, we actually lived in the hood. My story
sure.
is us. I
older.
lived in the hood for 16 years of my life. And so I saw my mom be an entrepreneur. And if you know, baby, Homestead, Texas, where boys be riding reckless. But anyway, so I saw my mom struggle being an entrepreneur. And then I didn't really understand it for real. So like she's had different salons. Do you remember that salon on Homestead that she had?
Was it by a daycare?
I don't remember that. It was by a church.
From Shadydale?
It was It was on Shadydale ain't on Homestead. She ain't from the hood for real.
I mean, hey, I left that when I was 11.
Well, okay, so my mom had her own salon, and I remember the salon getting broken into. I remember so much of that experience. And then I remember when she left the salon and she was struggling, and then she went back and started doing hair out the house. And then I remember her clients coming in and out of the house. And
that's my remembrance.
Yeah. And I remember, and do you remember it was like that was like struggle times. And I would just be so confused because I'm like, okay, I remember having the moment of like, okay, mommy, do you have clients today? Because I knew that the clients was the income that was coming in, you know, and she would be like, y'all pray that we get some clients, you know what I mean? And I just remember like having that whole like faith that God would bring clients in, and anxiety, that we ain't had nothing to eat. You know what I'm saying? You don't remember that? That wasn't your experience?
Well, I was so young. That was not my experience. Like, not me thinking about it the way you thought about it. Like, of course, I'm seeing we don't have a lot of things, and the lights are cut off, the water's cut off, things crawling on the ground. You know, I'm seeing these things.
Fact. I forgot about the rats, baby. We had rodents.
I'm seeing these things, but I'm not like at that young age. I feel like you and Isaiah were older. Y'all are 5 and 6 years older than me. So y'all's understanding was different than mine was at that young age. Although I'm seeing what's in front of me. And then our mom just has still so much faith.
Yeah.
And she will always instill praying to us and, you know, believing in God that things are going to work out. And so at that age, that's all I was thinking. Like, okay, God, you know, he coming through.
Yeah. So as you can hear, definitely heavy, you know, rooted in faith and our spirituality, even before we really understood what it was, you know. But yeah, that being there, and I remember my mom would be like, God is gonna bless us with a house, and it would be times and we had a house, but it was the house that our grandfather had left us in the hood, and baby, it wasn't a shack. Like shout out to Leroy Welch. Yes. It wasn't a shack, but we didn't even have bedroom doors. Okay, the only door in the house was the front door, the back door,
the restroom door,
and the restroom door. 3 doors in the house. Okay, everything else was
open,
baby.
Open concept.
Open concept before open concept was open concept. Sure. Okay. But yeah, it was the hood, you know what I mean? And we definitely struggled. And I remember my mom, you remember her taking us to go like to these nice houses. Exactly. We go to nice neighborhoods, look at all these houses, and she's like, one day God's gonna bless us with a house. And baby, clock is ticking. I'm 9, 10, 11, 12, baby. I'm getting up there in age, and we still in the hood.
Where's the house?
So that at that point for me, I was just like, no, like I'm 16 years old, and it was like I was losing my faith, you know, that whatever she was telling me, it's like, nah, she in La La Land, baby. I gotta lock in with reality. You know what I mean? We not leaving the hood. Yeah. And I know so many people struggle with that, but we left. I was 16, and you said you were what?
Like 11, 12.
And then like, what was that for you when we left the hood?
That's like starting a whole new life, you know, because I'm in a whole new school. I don't know anybody. I was already super shy and reserved. I was happy. Where did we even? We moved to Sable Ridge.
Yeah.
Sable Chase.
That's like Cy-Fair, right?
No, girl, that's off Walters.
No. We moved to Cy-Fair. We first moved to Cy-Fair. Yeah. And child.
I don't remember. See, because in 6th grade, I went to Wales Middle School. Off 1960.
No, because before that, because it was like we went and we were in Cy-Fair, and then
Emmett Elementary.
Girl, baby, listen. Cy-Fair was a blur because it was horrible for me. It was horrible because we had a little brother, and he had like a chromosome disease, and he died in my arms in Cy-Fair. So, child, I'm still working through that trauma. Okay, but to me, I feel like God gives us like clues, you know what I mean? Like God gives us, and I don't know, maybe this is a trauma part of me where I'm like looking at it that way, because I feel like I'm the one in the family that kind of is like the pillar, and maybe I'm thinking too much, maybe I'm doing too much. Let me know if I'm tripping. But I feel like I'm the one in the family that's like the pillar, you know, to where I, you know what I'm saying, like can kind of keep you guys propped up, you know what I'm saying? And like when Tay died, in that moment, because do you remember that situation when he died? Okay, I'm curious to hear what your perspective was, because I asked my mom's Mel, is what we call her, our mom, and her perspective on that situation was really crazy. It was different than what I thought, you know. But what happened in your viewpoint?
In my brain, in my memory, I remember I think we were at a gas station, right?
Or yeah, we had pulled over to a gas station.
We were all in the car, maybe the van. I think it might have been the van. And I don't remember anything other than someone said Tay wasn't breathing and we pulled over or something. And then my next memory is the ambulance is there and he's in the back of the ambulance and they have that bag to, put air in his lungs. And they said that he was not alive. So, and I remember your mom freaking out and, as she should have.
Yeah.
But she was freaking out. I remember, I skipped a part. I do remember Tay being in your arms in the car, in the van. But it's like I'm just having spurts of memories. It's not a full connection of like a play-by-play.
Yeah. Huh, okay.
That's I was 7.
You were 7?
I was 6 or 7.
Girl, I don't remember how old I was. When I tell you, like...
It could have been 12 or 13.
My memory in that time, like, I hated it. I hated sci-fair. Even to this day, I don't like being in sci-fair because it makes me think of that time. And, like, like, even right now, I'm trying to not cry about it because I have never talked to a therapist about how that affected me, you know what I mean? But again, that was a situation that I felt where God was like, you're strong enough to carry the weight of being a pillar in that situation. And the reason I say that from my perspective, what happened was, like I said, Tay, my brother, had a chromosome disease. So I don't know if he had like an extra chromosome or
he was missing one.
Okay,
so
missing
he had,
one.
Trisomy 18, and he had deformities with his hands, his feet.
No, his feet were fine. Yeah,
I thought his foot was like kind of turned or something.
No, his feet were fine. It was just the arms, and then he was born with like a hole in his heart. His ears were closed, and then like his tongue, it was something with his tongue.
See, I don't remember.
Oh yeah, baby, we was, and that's also a part of the story where our brother was in and out of the hospital too. While we're in the hood dealing with having no money, like our little brother was in and out of the hospital and he died so many times, came back to life, and he was like, he went down in history for like medical miracle or something. Like, it's a record of how miraculous his story was. Like, Jesse Jackson came, Donnie McClurkin was there. Like, it was so many people that were there for us during that time because of his life. And that is I feel like that's a whole other episode in itself.
Yeah, for sure.
But long story short, what happened that day was, and I'm trying to fast forward because it was a lot, but he was leaving home because he had a nurse, and his nurse, and I don't want to say too much about it because I feel like that is a lawsuit and I don't really know what the statute of limitations is on that, and so I don't want to really speak on that. But he left the house come from the nurse, right? She was with him, and so my mom was picking us up from school because at the time we were with like one of our cousins. And so she picked us up from school, and it was a hot summer, and the van had no AC. So our brother was in the car, Dahl's sitting in the front seat with my mom. I'm sitting in the back seat in the van. And he had like burped, right? And it was really loud because it was loud, especially because he couldn't talk, right? And he was 3, but he was still small like a baby because of this like chromosome disorder or disease. And so he burps really loud, which he never does. And so I looked over and he started throwing up out of his mouth and then out of his trach, right? Like, if you don't know, a trach is like a hole in your throat that helps you to breathe. So it was just like so much of it was coming out. And so I'm just like, I'm like gasping for air because I'm trying to save him. I'm trying to give him my air, you know what I mean? Because I know he can't breathe. So So I get him out of his car seat. I'm telling my mom, I'm like, Tay's throwing up and it's everywhere. Like, it's everywhere. And she's just like, what? You know, and I'm just like, it's so much. It's so much. So she's just like not coherent. Like, she just loses it. Like, you know how she is with trauma.
My mom can't handle a thing, okay? She just freaks out.
Like,
she crashes out is what it is.
She literally turns into a crash out. You know what I mean?
Immediately. It's immediate.
It's been so many things, y'all. You just gotta know. You just gotta know Melanie, bro. Like, she does the most. But you know, anyway. So I'm telling her this, right? And so she is not coherent, and I'm got him in my arms, and he's still throwing up, and it was even like he was even still pooping. Like, you know what I mean? It was so much coming out of him, and I'm telling her, and she just, baby, look, that's sterile. And I was like, pull over, like, pull over, like. He is dying in my arms. I'm over here trying to rock him. Like, I'm over here, you know what I'm saying? And I'm telling her, go over here, go over there. Like, go over, you know, like, let's think this through for a second. You know what I mean? And she over here in the front seat crying. And it's like valid, right? It's valid. But I'm just like, God, like.
Yeah, like in this situation, you're the adult.
Yes. Yeah. And I don't even know how old I was. I definitely was a teenager. I was in middle school. So. Preteen. And you know, we get to this gas station and my mom is just out the car screaming.
Yes, I do remember
and I still got him in my arms, and I'm just like, does anybody have a phone, bro? Like, does anyone have a phone so we can call the police? And in that moment, you know, they confirmed he was dead on the scene. And in that moment, I didn't know what the heck. Like, you know, I don't know. I don't even know if I cried in that moment. I have no idea. I know I cried later. And then we had to go pick Isaiah up from his basketball game, my brother. And I was the one who broke the news, you know? And so had to go through that, deal with that. And but as I like think about my life, I'm like, okay, God made me the pillar. Like, God, you know, I am the one to carry this weight. You know what I mean? And I could be wrong. Again, that could be my trauma.
No, I can agree with that because and I never thought about it as a pillar, but I will say, you know, after like you had gone to college and stuff, like out of the house, you and Isaiah out of the house, you were still taking care of home. And it's like you're actually a teenager. Like, you're a teenager.
Yeah.
And you will always take care of, you know, us in some way. But it's like as you grew up, when you were financially able to, then you started taking care of us financially. I always felt terrible about that.
Why?
Because you're a kid.
Oh, okay. But see, I never looked at it like that.
I did, because I just felt like, I don't want to say a bad thing. I don't want to offend my mom, but I just felt like, girl, you're an adult.
Yeah.
And your kids are kids, and make some shake, you know?
Yeah. But, you know, I read this book called, I just gave it to someone. It's called Radical Forgiveness. And that book, any resentment that I had, because I did have resentment for my mom, because I'm just like, we struggled unnecessarily, or I don't want to say it's unnecessarily, but we struggled longer than we needed to struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
then after reading that book, it dawned on me that, well, she's human too, and this is her first shot at parenting.
Yeah.
And it's not linear thing. Like, it's up and down, and you know, she's trying to process her life and then trying to process our life. And can you imagine how hard that is? Like, we have kids now, and baby, they be getting on my nerves sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And I be trying to process little babies, you know. Imagine trying to process adults, like teenage girls. Like, that's crazy. And then you got to deal with all this other stuff.
You know, she had her own struggles that she went through as well, that she didn't process herself. So it was just a But those are things I didn't think about till like now that I'm older.
Okay.
Because I also have resentment because I'm just like,
yeah,
we didn't have to be there that long. We didn't have to live like that this long. So I also have resentment, but just getting older, you have to think about the full picture. And I didn't think, and this, I hope this don't sound bad, but it's literally just my adolescent mind. At the time, I didn't think of, my mom as not a human, but just like she's the adult. Like that's literally all I could ever. Like you're grown.
Why you don't have your life figured out yet?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But it's like here I am at 29, and I'm hey, I'm
still trying to figure it out, right?
I'm still wondering. And I have children, so
and that's
like,
that's again, when you come to that realization that we're all human.
Yeah.
And it's not about who's doing what, it's about you.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that, segueing into the next point, that is the reason that I wanted to do my own research and why, I went 10 toes down into like understanding financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
And if I think about her, everything that we went through needed to happen for me to be who I am, for me to go as hard as I did in the financial space. You know what I mean? So it's really at this point nothing but gratitude, like totally grateful for all of the hardships, because when I'm up, baby, it's up. You know what I mean? Like, and not it's not just up from where like I'm gonna just throw money at you. No, it's up, and I'm helping to solidify the foundation because we didn't have that, and you didn't have that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll agree with that. It's definitely gratitude, and that's what any life lesson that I've had to learn, in any situation I've been through, I have to look at what positive thing came out of it. Even if I can't see it at that moment, you can look back at it.
So boom, we're gonna fast forward to 2018. Were you staying with us at that point?
So yeah, we moved to Corpus Christi with you guys to save up for a house. Just one kid at the time, and I don't know how you approached me. You were learning like a lot about financial literacy at that time, and then plus y'all had just bought y'all's house, so you already knew, certain things you needed to have in order to get a house or get anything really that's, and I knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
So you put me on game. You put a lot of people on game.
And I just remember, like, it's hard for me to see stuff by myself. And that's something that I need to work on. I don't know if that's like traumatic, bruh. I don't know. I just be feeling like sometimes like I don't be going to therapy like that. Because it's things that I need to do by myself. You know what I mean? It's things I need to do, like, and I just don't see myself doing it by myself because it's more fun with people. It's more fun with family. Like, why, you know what I mean? So I had this idea of, since I bought my house and Dahl was in the process of buying her house, because that's the reason that she was staying with us, to save up money and all this stuff. And so I'm just like, girl, come on, baby, because we out here killing it. You know what I mean? Like, we out here setting these goals and making it happen for ourselves. Like, let's make some money with other people. And it was like I was at a fork in the road, because I was either gonna go right into like real estate investing, or I was either gonna do this business. And I think you had left at that time. No. I think it was before she moved in. I remember I was on the phone and I was like, oh my God, I got to get this funding. And I had been denied. And then finally I got approved. So I had this money, right? So I'm like, hey, what we doing? Like, am I going left or am I going right? Right. And if I went left was like, okay, I'm going to invest in real estate and that is for me and my family. But then I was like, if I go right, it's going to be for the culture. You know what I mean? And sometimes I even go back and I'm like, dang, bro, I should have went left like a mug. Like, I should have went left. But, it's been
here now.
Right, like it's all it's lesson learned, you know what I'm saying? Definitely learned a lot along the way. But yeah, at that point I had this money, so I'm like, look, let's start this business. Dahl was like, yeah, I'm down. She always is a tag along. Like,
that sounds bad.
It doesn't, I don't mean it that way. Like, she's down for whatever, you know what I mean?
I am.
Like, she a road dog, always big. You know what I'm saying? In the back seat, just chilling, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, let's do this. And you know, she got the ideas. We brainstormed at the table in the living room. And baby, it was a thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we got a mentor and hit 6 figures in like 3 to 6 months.
Yeah. It was definitely
that crazy.
First year, but it was super quick.
It was crazy. Like all this freaking money, like what? You know what I'm saying? We straight out the hood. Like, what you mean? We got this money now. Like, that was crazy.
Honey,
that was insane.
I didn't know what to do. It was
literally.
It was so much money I saw that I literally didn't know what to do because it's like I've never seen this much money before in my life.
Nah, facts. That was crazy.
And at that moment, like living together, there's accountability there. But once you venture off, you know, it's like, yikes.
What are we doing?
Yeah. The money spending itself.
Baby, that money,
the money spent itself.
It did, and that's horrible. But
it's terrible. It's all literally live and learn. You live and you learn, and you do better.
We definitely lived, and we definitely learned. But yeah, like, you know, we learned about what a CPA was after we started making this money. We learned about what bookkeeping was, which is the same thing. We learned about tax strategists, tax planning, like
literally everything.
We learned it as we went.
That goes into it. We've made so many mistakes.
So freaking many.
So many mistakes, and we had to clean up quite a few
messes.
My
gosh, so many costly mistakes.
Yes, like literally so costly. So please get everything in order beforehand, or try your best, because we hire and firing CPAs and, you know, just.
But honestly, it's like they say, like, fail forward, because that's what we did. You know, like, if you try to perfect it first, then you're never going to do it. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because you'll be trying to get your plan so organized and so together that you're not even going to execute anything.
And it's not until you, like, just start moving forward with the thing that God places on your heart that you're going to see, like, when God, you know, told his disciples to go before him, and he was just like, you know, I've already had, because it was the Lord's Supper, and he's like, just go before me. It's already a spot that is going to be there for you. Just go to the spot. Like I said, do it, you know, ask this God for such and such. It's already set up. You just got to do it, you know? And that's for us, like, when God puts something on our heart, it's not our job to question. Like, it's not our job to have the full picture. It's just your job to do what you were led to do. And God is literally gonna say, okay, you did the first step. I appreciate that. Thank you for trusting me. Now let me reward you with this. And that's how it's been on our journey, which is why I'm like going back and forth between, dang, should I have gone left? Should I have gone right? And I'm grateful that I did go right, because it was so many people that we helped along the way.
Yeah.
And that
so
was
many people that helped us.
Yeah.
And we met a lot of amazing people who had our backs, have our backs. And lots of positive relationships. Yeah,
it's really been rewarding for sure. Okay, so we talked about the highs. Now let's get into the lows. So in 2020 or 2021, I went through a custody battle because I divorced my ex at whatever point. And child, we went through a custody battle, and that was pretty crazy, right? Because I knew this person, and I'm sure he could say the same. He thought he knew me, but that was so crazy. Like, it was crazy. I've shared with you guys that, you know, I don't have primary custody of the kids. And one of the reasons for that, because I know it's some people, and I hate that I have to even like go into it, but I know it's some people that are probably watching like, how you a mom and you don't have custody of your kids? Well, it's because I was working so hard. I was taking care of my grandmother who had dementia at the time. Like, I got a house for my mom. I'm like moving out. Like, I'm taking care of all the financial responsibility. I'm making sure my staff is employed. At the time, we had like 6 staff, paying 6-figure salaries. Like, it was so much money, bro.
That ties into you being the pillar.
So. Exactly. So it was a lot for me. Yeah. And so because of that, I felt like, okay, you guys have a dad here too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, so I reached out to the dad and I'm like, hey, I need your help with the kids. He was like, no, I can't. And I don't believe that. You know what I mean? We're not going to get into that. But I was like, oh, yes, you can. Boom.
There yours.
There you go. because I've been holding it down. You know what I'm saying? Because I did that, they were with him for 6 months. And in the state of Texas, if they are with any other parent or anybody else for 6 months or longer, then you have voluntarily given away rights as primary. So that was the basis of the custody battle. And I had no idea that that's what I did, but that's what I did. And that really broke my heart. Like, I was like suicidal, you know what I mean? Like, cause these are my kids. And like, y'all know how baby mama drama can go. Like, I had a baby mama, okay? And that affected me. Like, it affected me, and I'm still trying to hold it down and be a boss and be like who I am.
Everything
and
to everybody.
Bruh, I'm shook. You know what I mean? So I feel like that was a downward spiral. I was at this point where I'm like, my lawyer was telling me like, okay, we got discovery time. I need you to comb through everything. I need an answer for everything. So I started combing through my money. I'm looking at how much money we're making, how much money we're spending. Like, I'm over here looking at my friends that I had to let go. I'm like, oh, y'all was only with me for the money. Like, you know, I'm questioning everything and everyone because I trusted this person that did me the most, like the dirtiest ever. Like, you know what I'm saying? That kind of led into the relationship with my sister as well. So what's your perspective on?
Well, it's like, where do I start from there? Are we talking about the initial time when I like came back into the business, or not came back, but like fully went into my role in the business?
I mean, I would say, what was your perspective of me as a boss or as your partner?
At that time, I felt like just a normal employee, but emotionally, it was more, not baggage, but it was just more emotionally than, I just felt like, yes, we are business partners, but there definitely was no partnership. You did clue me in on things, but that was literally, you were cluing me into something you had already had your mindset, you know, to. So, long story short, we just, I wasn't giving my best at all because I wasn't comfortable in what I was doing. I wasn't confident in, you know, the role I played in the business because it wasn't my strong suit. I feel like I'm really good with, you know, coming up with ideas and content and things like that. But when it came to like having I'm hands on when I work. I like to be on my feet. I like moving around. This was work from home, totally new, and staring at a computer all day was not something I was, you know, wanting to do or something I was used to doing. So I felt like, from my standpoint, I wasn't giving it my best, but it wasn't on purpose. Like, I literally was not trying to do, you know, trying to hurt the business.
We were just doing what we could with what we had.
Yeah. And it just, we were working together, but we weren't really working. I don't think we were being honest. We weren't being honest. Yeah. And that was the issue. And then we fell out. Yeah. We fell out behind some family. Well, my own drama. I guess I'll go into that a little bit. I'm no longer with, you know, the father of my children. I made a decision to get back with him at that point, and you know, my family didn't take that well, and they shouldn't have. But
because you gotta come to your own.
My sister, she always is down for me, and always has my back. So she was, you know, defending me, and I just exited. I exited the chat. I literally exited the chat because I just had so many things, so many emotions going on at the time. And I just didn't like that. You guys, you know, it was just fighting everywhere I looked. That's what it was. It was just too much, and I couldn't take it. So my sister and I did not talk for months, 6 months or maybe more.
It was in December. It was right before the new year, and I fell out with everybody. Yeah. I fell out with everybody.
No, literally.
And I'm just like, okay, I'm the problem. Like, I'm literally the problem here. I'll take accountability. It's me. But I was just like, I don't care about none of that because you my sister. Yeah. And I'm your sister.
And I did not.
You supposed to have my back like how I got your back, you know? Yeah. And so on some pride stuff, I'm like, bet, you know what I'm saying? Cool.
So she texted me or called me, but basically I was fired. And, I definitely felt a way about that. But it's like I felt a way, but I didn't because it's like, fine, like I'm gonna go do what I actually like to do.
Yeah.
So, and I did. So it only hurt because we are sisters. All right, y'all. That is a lot. We still have so much to talk about. So we're gonna end that here. But please like, subscribe, share our content. Let me know, like, did you and your sister beef? You and your siblings? Did you have family drama? Did you take accountability for the part you played in it? Did y'all apologize, make amends?
Are y'all still not talking?
Like, this my partner.
Okay.
And we locked in.
Period. We're going to catch you guys on the next episode.